Good afternoon. Welcome to Government House here in Canberra on a beautiful spring afternoon. My name is Gerard Martin and I'm the Secretary to the Council for the Order of Australia and Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decorations Council. I wish to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on today and recognise any other people or families with connection to the lands of the ACT and the region. I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. And I would also like to acknowledge and welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our official guests this afternoon, Admiral David Johnson, Chief of the Defence Force, Dr Gordon de Brouwer, the Public Service Commissioner, Major General Richard Vagg, representing the Chief of Army, Rear Admiral Matt Buckley, Deputy Chief of Navy, representing the Chief of Navy, Mr Andrew Phelan, representing the Order of Australia Association, and Commissioner Trent Curtin from the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. The Australian Honours System is an important mechanism to recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Today is a special day not only for the recipients, but also for their families, their friends and their communities. It's a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. Here at Government House, we're privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can help make today an occasion that you will all recall with pride for years to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand if you're able as the Governor-General enters the room. Please then remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and once I've read a biography of their service and they've been invested, they will return to their seats by the centre aisle. At that point, you may like to show each of them some recognition with a short round of applause. Can I now invite you to stand for the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. And can I now invite the Governor-General to say a few words.
Thank you, Gerard, and good afternoon, everybody. It is a rather splendid spring afternoon here in Canberra. A little chilly, but the sun is out, which says so much about what we celebrate today, the warmth of the support for all of those we will invest in with their insignia, surrounded by family and friends. I also want to acknowledge that we gather on the lands of the Ngunnawal people and pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that to all people with connections to the lands of the ACT and surrounding regions, and acknowledge any First Nations people who are joining us this afternoon. I also join Gerard in acknowledging our very distinguished guests who continue to remind us about the importance of everyone that will be invested today. Their presence here reminds us about the importance of institutions that you are often supporting. I'd also like to thank the RMC Band, who you've already heard play for us. You'll hear them play during the afternoon. They are remarkable. They come and spend a lot of time here with us, and on days like today, they're uplifting. And Corporal Angie Cunnington has given us a great lead in singing the national anthem. I've heard a number of you with wonderful voices in the audience. I'm a terrible singer, so I always feel more confident when someone else is leading so beautifully. So it was wonderful to share the national anthem with you all. On this glorious day, I want to welcome you all to Government House. This is a place of peace and welcome where everyone belongs and absolutely everybody is welcome. I'd like to thank ahead of time the team here at Government House who make events like this so possible and so beautiful. I know that for many of you, you will have been interacting with members of the team from the time we first set the date for this investiture ceremony, and that will continue through the course of today with all of the hospitality that will be shown to you. I get to be at the front of this, but I know that behind it are a group of people who you'll meet during the course of the day, and I'd like just to thank them very much for everything that makes today so beautiful. As you may know or may not know, I am the first Canberra-born Governor-General, and there's something very special about the privilege I have to reside over this ceremony here at Yarralumla, where we celebrate Australians and many Canberrans and people from the Territory who have given so much of their lives to the people and places of this country and the world. It's even more special in this 50th anniversary year of the founding of our honours system, which has already recognised thousands and thousands of Australians from so many different walks of life. During this year, we've taken every opportunity we could to mark the birthday of the honours system. As a national honours system, the acts of service, integrity, creativity and care that we recognise today, the achievements in so many fields of endeavour, it's mirrored in cities, towns and regions right across the country. They are also all recognised at this time of the year in ceremonies taking place in government houses in every state and territory. Just as we are doing today here in Canberra, in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Hobart, Adelaide and Darwin, Australians are gathering during the course of the spring investitures with their friends and families and investing those recipients, those honorees, with their insignia. I hope, like them all around the country, those of you here today will hold the memories of this moment for a very long time and will reflect on just what happened here today as we acknowledge the extraordinary commitment of so many Australians. As your Governor-General and Chancellor of the Order of Australia, I have been so fortunate to also share in investitures that take place out of session and far from the formality of this drawing room and the drawing rooms of the government houses around the country. Most recently, I had the great honour on your behalf to travel to the north of Australia for two profoundly moving experiences. The first was in July in Rockhampton, and it was to posthumously present the Victoria Cross of Australia to the family of Private Richard Norden. He was awarded for an act of supreme courage during the Vietnam War, and he died only years later. He was 19 when he was so brave in Vietnam, and at 24, when he was on active service as an ACT police officer here in Canberra, he died in the course of his duties. It's a terribly sad story. His VC had been such a long time in coming, and his family, whilst they were overjoyed that he would be recognised with the VC for Australia, they didn't want to have to come to Canberra or to Gundagai where he was born, because life has moved on so much since those early years of his life. They wanted to celebrate him in the city that they now call home, which is Rockhampton, and they wanted as many family and friends and former colleagues with them in their home for us to pay respect to the late Private Richard Norden. So that's what we did. We went to Rockhampton, and the night before we invested the VC for Australia, the Police Commissioner for the ACT also attended and presented a posthumous police medal with his former police colleagues. It was all very, very moving. The second posthumous award that I presented in the same week was to the late Dr. G. Yunupingu. He was being presented, his family I should say, presented with the highest civilian honour in his name, the highest in the country, the Companion of the Order of Australia. For Dr. Yunupingu's investiture, the family had asked us very carefully, very mindful of the history of the work he had done in Far East Arnhem Land, asked us to travel to North East Arnhem Land, where we would be welcomed on Gummidge land in a deeply, deeply traditional ceremony. So we did that, supported by his family, his community. We were there for a number of days. We also did a citizenship ceremony while we were there, and had a wonderful occasion of seeing the diversity of the population of the Territory. But on the day we presented the insignia of the Companion of the Order of Australia, we were there on Gummidge land, on red earth. It was a hot day, and in the gorgeous afternoon light of the Northern Territory, with yolngu dancing, a bungal being performed, I was so proud on behalf of Australians to present the Order of Australia insignia to Dr. Yunupingu's daughter, Bin Miller Yunupingu, It carried huge significance for that community, for us to link the ancient world, the oldest world of culture in this country, to our most respected award system, only 50 years old. If you get a chance when you wander around the house later today and you pop into the ceremonial study, you'll see photos of both of those two investitures on the desk, and I encourage you to have a look at it and see how meaningful it was for the families who we visited. It was important to us, and as a very deep expression of care, that we were guided by those families' wishes and traditions in bestowing those awards. In August, I also had a chance to do something very special. On a state visit to Singapore, I had the absolute pleasure to invest the former Prime Minister of Singapore, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, with the insignia of his appointment as an honorary companion of the Order of Australia. It's something we do for those that are not Australian residents and have done things around the world that speak to our relationship with each other. His was awarded for his services to the remarkable and long-standing bilateral relationship between Australia and Singapore. Earlier this week, I also was able to do something which we will always try to do if it's needed. I travelled to Canberra Hospital to award Professor Johns with his AM. He was meant to be in the ceremonies here this week, but he suffered some renal failure leading into the weekend, and his family asked if there was any way that he could still participate and receive his medals and not have them simply given to him later. So we did what was the most normal thing to do. We went to Canberra Hospital, we sat by his bed. His wife, who received an OAM here last year, sat with him and held his hand, and together with the staff at the Canberra Hospital, we invested him with his Member of the Order of Australia. You can see pictures of that on our social media if you're interested, but it was important for us to do that so that he did not miss this most remarkable occasion. From its very beginning, the Order of Australia has recognised remarkable people, and as those unique ceremonies I've just described tell you, the qualities embodied in the diverse people we recognise represents the absolute best of modern Australia. On Tuesday night, and again tomorrow night, we had an excellent evening honouring recipients from the first three sessions, and we'll do that again, and many of you will be there, will be here tomorrow night. And we have a panel of you who speak to why you have the awards that you do and what you care about and what awards mean to you. From what we saw on Tuesday night, it's a really important moment for those stories to be shared and for everyone to reflect on how you are all united through your service and your compassion for this country. There's no one form of achievement in the Order of Australia. As you'll hear this afternoon, as Jared reads each of your citations, the long citations, so we get to hear all about you, your lasting impact on the world is not bound by geography, status, interests, careers, ability, age, or gender. Instead, it is an absolute expression of the uplifting power of care, kindness, and respect that you have embedded into your diverse and myriad interactions with the people, the issues, the communities, the country, and the world around you. You are the people that show us what it means to care for one another, to care for those who do the caring of others, care for our extraordinary continent and its environmental beauty, care for civics and institutions, and care for the way in which we discuss and debate the really tough issues of our time without judgment, anger, or violence, but with respect. That's exactly what I get to feel standing here and to perform the investiture ceremony. It's what I've seen across the spring investitures all week, and it's glorious, particularly when there are little voices in the room who are here to see this too. It's a privilege for us to learn all about your stories, and then I take them wherever I go and I share them around the country and around the world. I want to thank all of those who are being invested today for everything that you've done and everything that you continue to do every day. And I want to thank your families, friends and colleagues who've nurtured and supported you and been there every step of this journey and are here to join in the celebration of your magnificence as you are honoured. Before I close, just one reminder. These awards are the moment where we invest honours that were nominated by people in the public. These do not come from the council looking around the country and working out who we honour. Every honour today and through the investitures has come about because someone has nominated our honorees. So someone has to always nominate. And sometimes I think we forget to nominate people. They can be any person who's a contributor to our society from any walk of life, doing anything that you think is worthy of other people knowing and celebrating. So without nominations, we don't get to these moments. So I would encourage you to let people know that nominating is really important, and that's the work of the Secretariat here then, to process those and to make sure everything is done to the very best of our ability to make sure when we do these that we are then honouring extraordinary people. So I'll close by just saying, on behalf of all Australians, I'm so terribly proud and delighted and honoured to both congratulate you and shortly to invest you with the insignia of your honours. Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'd also like to add my thanks to the RMC Band who are performing for us today, and I'm now going to ask them to give us a short musical interlude while we have our first set of recipients move into the positions. Thank you. Your Excellency, to be appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Professor Mark Howden, for eminent service to environmental science, to the global response on climate change and adaptation, to agriculture and to tertiary education. For over 35 years, Professor Howden has worked to ensure Australia and the world are well placed to tackle the impact and future of climate change. He is one of Australia's most highly regarded climate scientists and has an impressive record of public service. Professor Howden was Director of the Institute of Climate, Energy and Disaster Solutions at the Australian National University and works within the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change at the United Nations. His remarkable knowledge of underlying scientific theories and evidence and his ability to communicate complex science research have contributed directly to policy creation internationally. Professor Mark Howden, appointed a Companion of the Order. To be appointed an Officer of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Geoffrey Stapleton, for distinguished service to engineering in the renewable and sustainable energy sector and to training and development. Mr. Stapleton is a pioneer of renewable energy systems in Australia. He is well known for his decades-long contribution to energy transition, notably in the Pacific, Africa and Asia. Mr. Stapleton has also been instrumental in establishing training and accreditation programs for the renewable energy industry and developing technical standards, industry guidelines and quality assurance programs. Mr. Jeffrey Stapleton, appointed an Officer of the Order. To be appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Ms. Chris Folkes, for significant service to education, to business and to the community. Ms. Folkes has been involved with the University of Canberra, the Canberra Symphony Orchestra, the Brumbies, the Canberra Business Chamber, the City Renewal Authority and the National Capital Authority, just to name a few. Her volunteer work has also been directed at the well-being of the community in areas like bushfire recovery, healthcare and the arts. She has consistently served the Canberra community with exceptional enthusiasm and care. Ms. Chris Folkes, appointed a Member of the Order. To be appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Rear Admiral Rachel Durbin, for exceptional performance of duty in Royal Australian Navy senior engineering and management positions. Rear Admiral Durbin provided sustained, exceptional services in significant engineering and command roles. An advocate for engineering excellence throughout the fleet, she demonstrated outstanding professionalism and strong direction as Head of Navy Engineering. Rear Admiral Durbin significantly contributed to the rebuilding of naval engineering as a professional workforce that supports acquisition and seaworthiness and contributes to the maintenance and improvement of Navy assets and the fleet's capability. Rear Admiral Rachel Durbin, appointed a Member of the Order. To be appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Major General Mark Askoff, for exceptional service to the development of the Australian Defence Force's intelligence capability as Commander 6th Brigade and as Director General Operations Intelligence. Major General Askoff's eminent service, particularly in leadership roles, has increased the Australian Defence Force's tactical and operational intelligence capabilities. Under his management, he has assisted in enabling domestic and overseas operations and delivered collaborative outcomes with intelligence partners in pursuit of Australia's national interest. Major General Mark Askoff, appointed a Member of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Dr. David Bagnall, for service to rowing. Dr. Bagnall has played a significant part in the lives of many Canberrans, helping to develop rowing in the ACT. Dr. Bagnall has been involved with rowing ACT since the 1970s and is recognised as a highly capable administrator. As coach, he was responsible for taking several rowers to state, national and international competitions. He has always been generous with his time, passionate, consistent and dedicated to those he coaches, donating many hours to school-aged rowers and to local clubs around Canberra. Dr. David Bagnall awarded the Medal of the Order.
Yes, okay. So well. Good. Thank you for good. Thank you. Mr. Bagnall. Sorry. Mr. Bagnall. Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, still coaching university. That's good. And I should actually get out and vote a bit. We'll get to do that. Yes. Have no problem.
To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, the late Mr. Randall Clinch, to be accepted by his son, Mr. Russell Clinch, for service to the community through mental health wellbeing programs. Mr. Randall Clinch spent over 25 years assisting parents to parent, educators to educate, and employment agencies to place the long-time unemployed. Overcoming personal challenges, he worked within local government education departments in the ACT, Queensland, South Australia, as well as the ACT Youth Justice Service and the Northern Territory Correctional Service to support and advocate for vulnerable young people. Mr. Clinch selflessly spent his time and energy working to improve the lives of those struggling with mental health issues. The late Mr. Randall Clinch awarded the Medal of the Order, accepted by Mr. Russell Clinch. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Chief Petty Officer Colin Glastonbury, for meritorious performance of duty as an acoustic warfare analyst and acoustic intelligence specialist on submarine operations. Chief Petty Officer Glastonbury has deployed in Australian and Allied submarines as an acoustic warfare analyst and acoustic intelligence specialist for over 2 decades. His expert advice on multiple missions during that period in the uniquely challenging submarine environment was fundamental to excellent operational outcomes. Underpinning this service was his key role in establishing a world-class acoustic intelligence specialist capability within the Royal Australian Navy, which the United States Navy also draws on. Chief Petty Officer Colin Glastonbury awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Lieutenant Colonel William Morrison, for meritorious performance of duty as a support planner on peacetime operations in Australia and as the Operations Campaign Planner in Germany as part of the Security Response Team Europe. Lieutenant Colonel Morrison made a remarkable contribution in logistics and support planning to Australian peacetime operations. He also served the International Donor Coordination Centre within the Security Response Team Europe in support of the armed forces of Ukraine. He served these missions with meticulous planning and coordination ability, coupled with exceptional people skills and outstanding leadership. Lieutenant Colonel William Morrison, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Captain Tina Brown, for outstanding achievement as the Commanding Officer of HMAS Hobart on Regional Presence Deployment and Operations Argos and Resolute. Captain Brown displayed outstanding leadership and judgment as the Commanding Officer of HMAS Hobart throughout an exceptionally challenging and complex operational deployment. In a series of sustained, pressurised circumstances, her professionalism and calm decision-making ensured the safety of her ship and crew throughout the deployment. Her commitment to excellence has significantly enhanced the operational readiness and success of Hobart and the Royal Australian Navy. Captain Tina Brown, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Commander Christopher Smith, for outstanding achievement as Commanding Officer 808 Squadron and in the structural optimisation of the Fleet Air Arm. Commander Smith has shown commendable dedication, diligence and devotion to naval aviation. He laid the foundations for change in the organisation structure and support arrangements for the MH-60R helicopter capability. Through analysis of defence support arrangements, Commander Smith optimised the command, control, communications and support structure to enhance both the availability and capacity of future naval helicopter operations. Commander Christopher Smith, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Davey, for meritorious achievement in the development of land electronic warfare capabilities in the Australian Army. Lieutenant Colonel Davey's skills have been critical in the remediation of electronic warfare project delays and scheduling issues to ensure delivery of vital equipment to Australian Army soldiers. Lieutenant Colonel Davey's leadership and technical skills have made a significant contribution to Army's capability. Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Davey, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Henry, for meritorious achievement in the development of land geospatial intelligence capability for the Australian Army. Lieutenant Colonel Henry showcases superior expertise and dedication to duty. Through his work, he has made a great contribution to Army's geospatial intelligence capabilities. His skill and foresight have delivered a more networked and integrated geospatial system and supporting workforce, with an optimised sensor capability that is enabling decision advantage for commanders across all phases of joint operations and defence activities. Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Henry, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms Robin Edmonds, for outstanding public service for the co-founding of the Australian Public Sector Neurodiversity Community of Practice. Ms Robin Edmonds is an advocate for the full participation of neurodivergent people in the Australian public sector. In 2022, Ms Edmonds co-founded the Australian Public Sector Neurodiversity Community of Practice, which in its first year was joined by over 300 Australian public service staff from 30 agencies. She then led the design and launch of the Public Sector Neurodiversity Community of Practice GovTeams community as a platform for sharing resources, initiatives and consultation opportunities across the public sector. Ms Edmonds leads with a vision of making the Australian public sector the employer of choice for neurodivergent people. Ms Robin Edmonds, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Mr David Turvey, for outstanding public service in establishing the National Skills Commission and subsequently the formation of Jobs and Skills Australia. Mr David Turvey was instrumental in bringing together branches of the former Department of Education, Skills and Employment to establish the National Skills Commission and its successor, Jobs and Skills Australia. This work involved significant organisational and leadership change. Mr Turvey's ability to build links between important stakeholder groups and government agencies is based on his unwavering support for diversity and inclusion. Mr David Turvey, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal, Mr Neil Shepherd, for distinguished service as a member of an Australian Fire Service. Mr Neil Shepherd has demonstrated an ongoing dedication to the field of training and improving the quality of course delivery over the past 20 years in the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. Mr Shepherd also assisted during the 2019-20 bushfires, where he led strike teams out of area in New South Wales and Victoria. In addition to his operational duties as a brigade captain and deputy group captain, Mr Shepherd spends countless weekends delivering and assessing courses across the area command. Mr Neil Shepherd awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal. To be awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal, Mr Andrew Southwell, for distinguished service as a member of an Australian Fire Service. Mr Southwell displayed extensive leadership with the Rye Park Brigade, undertaking the roles of Deputy Captain, Permit Officer, Vice President, President and Captain. He has held the position of Group Officer since 2005. He has undertaken multiple divisional commander roles at fires over the past 20 years, including the Lodgevale, Watershed and Gulalong roads fire emergencies. Mr Southwell is widely respected across the Southwest Slopes for his community risk management, his extensive operational experience and his calm and professional approach to incident management. Mr Andrew Southwell awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal. Thank you, Your Excellency. That concludes the presentations for this afternoon. Let's give one last round of applause for all our recipients today.